We might have to come back to Chaz a little later.
But to a different policy battleground now, Tasmania's old-growth forests. What do you think?
Yes, well, on Monday we saw Mark Latham make an $800 million pledge to save Tasmania's trees in a clear bid for Greens preferences.
Yes, and if we factor in those preferences, that now actually nudges Labor ahead in Tasmania. But if you take into account the backlash from forestry workers, the policy does appear to have backfired.
Well, it's been one of just several mistakes we've seen from Latham this campaign. Inexperience. And that's all it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've seen it time and time again. And you've only got to look at their dismal campaign slogans.
Oh, dreadful stuff. Hackneyed phrases, cliches, more mixed metaphors than a room full of Cocker Spaniels.
I know. What the ALP really needed was some strong slogans that actually explain what their policies are.
Charles Firth and the Chaser. Now, we've come up with some slogans for you. What about Labor, fifth time lucky?
Oh, we're aiming for the next one. Haven't you caught up with the news?
No, you can use that in the next one. Come on. I think you should have that one.
Do I keep that?
Yeah, you can keep it. What about this one, Jenny Macklin? Now only a pancreas away from the leadership.
No, I don't think so.
Because she doesn't have the numbers.
Well, there's that.
You're an outrage,
Come
as
on.
always.
You don't like that?
At least you haven't read my picture.
Well, we've got a slogan. It's over there. Taking the pressure off families.
Oh, yeah, we've got one.
Oh, you got one of
as
those?
well.
Yeah.
Taking the pressure off families and on to sole parents.
No.
Come on, it's more honest. Labor now almost union free.
No, that's not true.
Craig Emerson came up with this one.
He did not.
Brent didn't like this campaign slogan either.
But he didn't like that part of it either.
What about this one? Labor against preemptive strikes, except on taxi drivers.
You're being mean.
Well, he was pretty mean to the taxi driver.
No.
Put it up.
No, they won't let me take it. You know I'm not going to get in with it.
That's because you're a unionist.
They're not, that's right.
They don't let you do anything.
Right.
What about Labor, the best choice, if calculated weekly?
What about daily? Monthly?
But just not annually.
Sensation.
You're going to use it? Do you want to take it down?
Absolutely, thank you.
Remember to credit me.
Oh, well, I just hope they have time to implement those slogans in the 36 hours before polling starts.
And to the education debate now, and Julian, can we just have a look at the seat of King's, please?
Sure. Now, the King's School, of course, one of the biggest seats in the country. In fact, if we just zoom in on it here, you'll see that it covers an enormous area, although only a few privileged residents actually get to live there.
Yes, and look, with all the resources the government's been pouring into it over the last few years, I really can't see them losing it. So, yeah, I'm calling Kings for the Libs.
Well, the division between public and private education has never been starker. And to help us understand this issue a little less clearly, Charles Firth compiled this special report.
Tonight, our school's in crisis, run down, underfunded. John Howard blames all these problems on a lack of moral values, something I confirmed when I went undercover as a schoolboy. Nobody knew the second verse of the national anthem. Beneath the radiant Southern Cross. Some of the students looked as if they came from overseas. And I had to have an affair with my English teacher. But John Howard has a solution. A flagpole out the front of every school. So every kid knows what the Australian flag looks like. As you can imagine, once a flagpole was put up, this school's moral decay was immediately reversed. In fact, the flagpole was so miraculous, I thought I'd take it to other people who Howard thinks need a dose of values. It straightened out gays, fixed the Aborigines, and you can just see the values increase in this vagrant. Of course, experts say what schools need is not values, but billions of dollars of extra funding. So Howard's flagpoles or the experts' billions? Maybe we need to combine the two and have billions of flagpoles. I'm Charles Firth. Firth with the facts.
Here at last, the easy way to get the country in shape with the Amanda Vanstone exercise video. A total migration workout that'll keep Australia looking taut and trim. Lose borders fast and see how in just one easy parliamentary sitting, you can go from this to this. Say goodbye to those unwanted refugees with the Amanda Vanstone exercise video. Shape up and ship out.
I won't be voting for Mark Latham.
Why's that?
Well, because I saw on TV the other day that he can't even, manage Liverpool's local council's government. So how is he going to manage Australia's $8.5 billion economy?
Live from the National Tally Room as we continue the countdown to democracy's Night of Nights. And it's time once again to present the coveted Mal Award.
Yes, the Mal Award, handed out each week to the politician who most disgraces themselves on the campaign trail. And this week it goes not to an individual, but to an entire political party. And I can think of none more deserving than Family First.
Yes, Family First, the new ultra-conservative political force who've consistently denied their Christian links, despite the fact that a vast number of their candidates are pastors at the Assemblies of God Church, including their founder, Andrew Evans.
We have no connection whatsoever, and I made that very clear from the beginning.
Now, if that is the case, and they're not a Christian group, then how do they explain a leaflet printed by Family First candidate Danny Nalia, who's also a pastor, which asks supporters to spot Satan's strongholds, such as brothels, gambling places, bottle shops and mosques? And then just this week, another Family First staffer in Brisbane argued that lesbians should be burnt to death.
And yet, despite all these beliefs, Family First has managed to win the support of the Prime Minister himself.
I would rather give my preferences to a party like that than I would to the Greens.
So, for denying their Christian links, but then waging an open war on Satan, the Family First Party are the very deserving winners of this week's Mal. Joan Woods, congratulations. We'd like you to accept the Mal Award on behalf of the whole Family First Party. Willing to take for a fantastic week of campaigning.
Thank you.
It's been a great week, particularly Danny Nalia's comments about Satan's strongholds being bottle shops, Muslim mosques. What about those? You support those, don't you? Do you want to take the award? You could at least give it to Danny for us. Please, please. This could be the only thing Family First wins. This is your first time election. You're not going to take the Mal Award. This is the hugest privilege.
Well, good for
Great job for the whole party there.
Still, I mean, I will say this for Family First, though. They've spent less time with archbishops than Tony Abbott has in this campaign.
And that's all we've got time for tonight. We don't work weekends, but be sure to join Kerry O'Brien and the rest of the B team this Saturday for all the results from 6:30 onwards.
Will Anthony Green be on board as usual?
Yes, I believe Anthony will be calling some seats, although the Victorian seats this year are going to be called by Peter Wilkins.
Well, he's got so much local knowledge.
It's a good decision by ABC management, that one. I mean, nobody knows Victoria quite like Wilco does.
And we'll be back, of course, with a full wrap-up of all the results, triumphs and heartbreaks, same time next week. Until then, good night.
Yeah. Oh, hello, here we go.
What's going on?
Julie.
Julie.
Have you seen his screensaver? It's
It had to happen, didn't it?
Hello, Julie McCrossan here from ABC Radio National's Life Matters. Join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. when we take a look at this disturbing new trend of running cross-promotions at the end of ABC programs, often while the show's still running, meaning viewers miss out on crucial content. An annoying intrusion or just a ploy to patch over weak material? That's tomorrow on Life Matters. I hope you can join me.